Did you know that a recent study done by My eLearning World found that teachers will spend on average $820 on their classroom? By the time you factor in school supplies, classroom organization, classroom decor, and even a classroom library, it's no wonder that teachers are spending so much on their classroom. One of the last things you want to do is spend money on things that don't matter. And as a teacher who has taught kindergarten for 3 years, it's safe to say I've had my fair share of spending things on my classroom that just didn't matter or were kind of a waste of time. That's why today I'm going to share with you my top 7 kindergarten classroom must-haves that I wish I would have bought sooner. Now, I'm not only going to share with you what you should be purchasing, but I'm also going to share the why. So stay tuned because you're not going to want to miss this. One of the first purchases I highly recommend as a kindergarten classroom must-have, are organization cards, especially if you plan on using centers or doing centers in your classroom. Starting out, I used one of these because I thought it was super cute. I loved the rainbow color and it just seemed bright and happy. However, I don't recommend using this one because when I bought it, the drawers were coming off the track, and actually within the first month, some of my kids actually broke the drawers. So it's not really built that well. Maybe you might have better luck, but I actually highly recommend this one. I love this one because it's sturdy and my kids can use it without breaking it, and it has lasted me a lot longer. One of the reasons why these cards are so amazing is because I love to put different stations in each drawer, and when I do that, it gives my kids the opportunity to be independent and pick from each drawer and to be responsible for their own materials. Especially in a kindergarten classroom, I think it's important to set up your students for success and help them be as independent as possible. So that's why I really love these cards, because it allows them to do that, especially during centers. The second must-have I recommend for your kindergarten classroom is our task card organizers. So for example, during centers, I might do Kaboom in one, I might put dice if they need it for a certain station. You could put sensory activities, sight words, CVC words, you name it. Either way, I really love these because they compact all the materials you might need into one spot, and I actually love pulling them for my small groups too. The third kindergarten classroom must-have I recommend are these line-up spot stickers. Now, we used a lot of these during COVID, and I actually use them beforehand because it's really important, especially in kindergarten, to help them learn how to line up properly. So especially in kindergarten, we might be learning how to keep our hands to ourselves, how to give each other proper spacing, and these stickers really help you do just that. Now, I personally have these Harry Potter ones because I have a Harry Potter classroom right now. So I use these particular ones, but I will make sure to put both in the description below. Now, this is definitely something I wish I would have invested in sooner, and I finally did it this year, and if I could go back in time, I would just tell myself it's totally worth it, and that's Pre-Sharpened Pencils. Now, I know what you're thinking, they're just pencils, and yes, your district might be asking people to volunteer or your kids to bring supplies, or they might give you pencils, but hear me out for a second. These are a godsend. The last thing you want to do each time your kids need new pencils is to get a box out, open it up, and then spend minutes, if not hours, sharpening these pencils. And even if you have them as a classroom job, you don't want to spend hours or minutes of listening to that pencil sharpener go off because you're trying to get a flat pencil to a very sharp one. Trust me on this. That's why I invested in these this year, and you guys, I'm never going back. I bought a big box of these at the beginning of the year, and they lasted me all year. Each time that I noticed that my pencil cup was getting low, I would just pick up a handful, put it in, and I'm done. It saved me so much time. Trust me on this. The second thing you're going to want to invest in are books for your classroom. Now, I know, especially if you are a first-year teacher starting out, it might be hard to get the funding to acquire a huge classroom library, but that's okay. The goal is to start small, and coming in a future video, I will show you how I saved thousands of dollars on my library. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that video. But essentially, I would start stocking up on books now, and trust me, you're gonna thank me later. So places you might want to look is Goodwill. You could even ask maybe your family or your friends that are asking what you need for your classroom. See if any new teachers or older teachers are retiring or leaving the classroom, and if they'll give you some books. But some books I highly recommend you get, especially for kindergarten, are Fly Guy, Another good one's Pete the Cat. Any of those leveled or those beginning readers are going to be really, really good and crucial for a kindergarten classroom. So you might think I'm a little crazy, but the next thing kindergarten must have, you're going to find a little strange, but I found these in my closet and they have been a life changer. Yes, I'm talking about milk crates. If you see somebody who's trying to get rid of these, or if you find some for sale at a yard sale, grab them. Trust me, you are not going to regret it. I have used these for things like for a place for my kids to put their lunch boxes, a place for them to put their water bottles. And I even used one of these to replace my student mailboxes, and more on that later. But essentially grab these. You never know when you're going to use them. Trust me. Now, I know earlier I talked about having pre-sharpened pencils, but you're still going to need a sharpener to help you sharpen those pencils. And there's two ways you could do this. Now, some districts may provide a pencil sharpener, electric or manual, and that's great. But if you want to save yourself some time, I highly recommend investing in a good sharpener. Now, here's a story. I would go to Walmart or go to a store and I would try to spend good money on a sharpener, hoping it would last me more than 3 months. It did not matter. Every 3 months, I would have to throw the sharpener away and get a new one until I posted on Instagram. I posted on Instagram and asked, does anybody know of a really good sharpener? And someone recommended this. Now, this sharpener I am using in my classroom right now, and I absolutely love it. I have used it since the beginning of the year, and it's a lifesaver. The best part is the person that recommended this sharpener was an art teacher, and she said that she even used colored pencils in her classroom. Now, I don't know about you, but in a kindergarten classroom, I go through a lot of colored pencils. So having something that can do both and keep up with all the sharpening is really, really important. And those are the top 7 must-haves for a kindergarten classroom. What is something you can't live without? Let me know in the comments below. And then also, what questions do you have about being a kindergarten or a primary teacher? Also, let me know in the comments below. I would love to chat and answer any questions you have. If you are a first-year teacher, or if you're new to primary, I highly recommend you check out this Ultimate First Year Primary Teacher Checklist. In this checklist, I'm going to walk you through everything we talked about here. Plus, I'm going to answer any or the top questions that I get about being a primary teacher all in one spot. So definitely go download that now because it's free. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It would really, really help me out if you did. And then also stay tuned because the next episode is going to come out. I am going to be posting Mondays and Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. And for the first 30 minutes, I'm going to be hanging out on YouTube, answering any comments I get on my videos. So make sure to subscribe and come check out my channel during those times. All right, I will see you next time, teacher bestie. Bye.